Please help to me reach 1,000 subscribers. I remember the day she walked away as clearly as if it happened this morning. There was no shouting, no chaos, none of the dramatic scenes you'd expect from a broken marriage. Instead, it was painfully still. An unsettling kind of quiet that felt heavier than any argument could have. She stood in the doorway with her luggage beside her, refusing to meet my eyes. Her expression told me everything: fatigue, regret, and something that looked a lot like shame. All I could do was breathe out slowly and give her a small nod. I didn't lash out. I didn't plead. I didn't even ask her to explain. Whatever answers I might have wanted once, I already understood. At least enough. Whether she had fallen for someone else or simply grown tired of us, the end result was the same. She had made her choice. And I wasn't going to fight for someone who had already walked out of the fight themselves. So I let her go. I stepped out of the room, slipped on my coat, and left the house without a single dramatic gesture. No slamming doors. No final words. When she walked away, she never looked back. And neither did I. The days that followed blurred together. I barely ate. Sleep was impossible. My mind felt empty and yet unbearably heavy at the same time. I filled my schedule with anything that might drown out the hollow ache: work, long workouts, even dates I wasn't emotionally present for. Everyone insisted I was handling everything like a man, but they didn't see the nights when I stared at my phone with that stupid urge to message her. But I didn't. Eventually, I stopped waiting for her return. I let the hope die quietly. By the time a year had passed, I had grown used to the silence she left behind. I wasn't healed, not fully, but I was learning how to carry the wound without letting it consume me. Then came October 9th. A full year since she left. I was in sweatpants making a simple dinner, music humming softly in the background. I wasn't thinking about her. I wasn't thinking about anything really. And then, someone knocked. A soft, hesitant knock. Familiar in a way that made my stomach twist. I opened the door, and she was standing there. Her hair was longer. Her face puffy from crying. Wrapped in a coat like the world had been too cold for too long. For a moment, I didn't even recognize her. When it finally hit me, I froze. She whispered, "I didn't know where else to go." Every memory slammed into me at once. Our wedding, quiet mornings together, her laughter echoing in our hallways. And suddenly I realized, somewhere deep inside, I hadn't completely released her. I didn't trust myself to speak. I just stepped aside and let her in. She sat at the kitchen table, the same table where we once shared meals and conversations that lasted until midnight. Her voice shook as she said, "I made a mistake. The worst mistake of my life." I stayed quiet. I didn't owe her a response. She chose her path, and I had learned to survive without her on mine. Then she pulled out a slip of paper, creased and worn from being folded too many times. A letter. She said she wrote it half a year ago but never had the courage to send it. It was an apology. A confession. A window into her sleepless nights, her regrets, her attempts to fill the emptiness she created. She wrote about wearing my old hoodie to sleep. About missing the sound of my footsteps in the morning. About realizing that the man she ran to was never me, never us, never home. When I looked up, tears were streaming down her cheeks. "I know I don't deserve anything from you," she whispered. "But if there's even a tiny chance." She didn't finish. She didn't have to. A year earlier, I would have taken her hand without hesitation. I would have begged her to stay, to try again, to choose me. But the man standing in that kitchen wasn't the same man who watched her walk out. I had rebuilt myself piece by piece. I had grown. I had found my strength again. And as painful as it was to admit, we weren't the same people anymore. "I don't hate you," I said quietly. "I forgave you long ago." She nodded, breaking down again. "But we're strangers now." Her face tightened and she let out a broken sob. "I'm so sorry." I placed the letter gently on the table. "So am I." She rose slowly as if every movement carried the weight of the past year. At the door, she looked back one last time and whispered, "I'll always love you." I gave her a soft, sad smile. "And I'll always remember you." Then she stepped out. No promises. No second chances. Just an ending, quiet like the day she left. Not all stories fall apart in anger. Some end in acceptance. In growth. In letting go with grace instead of bitterness. I didn't take her back. Not because I stopped loving her, but because I finally learned to love myself more. If someone you trusted has ever broken your heart, you're not alone. Share your story below and let's heal together, one honest moment at a time. Please help to me reach 1,000 subscribers.